Rule number 1, don't stop running, ever.
Run is about a woman who is an inventor.
Are you ready to see what we've come up with?
And she has made the next big thing.
Shouldn't that technology be kept unseen?
The thing that makes all smartphones obsolete.
What's the news today, Adam?
She's in a relationship with a man, and she's gotten a little bit restless in that relationship.
I just need some space.
She's a go-getter, and she's not going to be vulnerable at all. And the one thing that she does every day to clear her head is she goes for her run. She leaves her house in Oregon Hill, goes through Oregon Hill, and when she reaches the entrance of the Lee Bridge, that's where she clears her head.
I'm not moving to New York.
You've been waiting a long time to tell me that you wanted space?
Kennedy, you're only happy when you're running.
Is that all you got?
Enter Bill Bantam. He may seem charming and smart and funny and all of that on the outside, but inside, he has the heart of a psychopath.
Would you think it's funny if I told you that you had a bomb attached to your wrist?
And now, she can't stop running.
Oh my, but that was, what did you do?
Rebecca was an angel from heaven, dropped down onto our plate. We prayed, and the gods provided Rebecca.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Turner. I play Kennedy Marshall in the film Run by JJ McMoon.
JJ and I actually first spoke it was about March of 2014 or sometime earlier in the spring. And he said that he was looking for fit young actresses who could run a lot, like run a lot, because it was a big running movie and you have to be able to run a lot. Can you run a lot? And at the time, I am not a runner. I was not a runner, I'm still not a runner. And said, I know I can act in whatever film and what you want, I can do that, and I'm willing to put in whatever training you need to get to that point, but I genuinely don't know what my running skills are right now in case you want me to like audition on a treadmill tomorrow, because he was auditioning people on treadmills.
All right, and action.
What was that about? You wanted space.
So do you run all day? Every day, I mean?
Yes.
And action.
Richard Spencer, we're in for Bill back.
You're gonna run in a movie, I gotta know you can run.
And so that sort of, ended there for a while.
What I remember most about Rebecca was there was an intensity in her voice that I really liked.
If I stop running, the bomb will go off. If I get in the car, the bomb will go off. If I keep running around the island, the bomb will go off.
She had one of those antiquated phones at that time, one of those flipped up phones, that was obsolete like 10 years before she got it.
Where am I gonna get a phone?
So when I didn't get 2 or 3 calls, or 2 or 3 messages returned, I just said, okay, she's a good actress. Maybe this project just isn't for her. So we planned the project, we cast the role, we spend months working with another actress on that role, and a scheduling conflict comes up at the very last minute. In fact, we had done a shooting day with her, and the scheduling conflict just couldn't get around. Everybody understand all sides, all good, everybody shaking hands, whatever. It's just, sometimes it happens, except it really, really sucks when that happens as a filmmaker, because you've done all this preparation, all this work, and now 48 hours from shooting, you've got to find a new lead.
Fast forward several months to August, he contacted me again, just saying, are you still interested by any chance? Are you still available?
And of course, anybody who's any good already has a project. I mean, they're good. They have projects. They're in something all the time, and they're scheduled out months in advance. So I called every well-known actress in Richmond that I could find, and I couldn't find anybody who was available, who could do the schedule, that could do the amount of work, who could train and get in shape, because I was really worried about hurting somebody.
I was like, I'm in Richmond. I just got here. I'm absolutely available. I don't have anything going on.
We auditioned all morning the day that Rebecca came in. All morning we auditioned. We had all these actors come in, and they were all good actors. And when Rebecca came in...
But you also have something to hold.
I don't know about your pant size, but this does not fit in my front pocket. Brian, it's Kennedy. I need you to move all free cash into some accounts for me ASAP. Can you do that for me?
It was just magical.
So I came in for the audition and really clicked, I thought. I thought it was a really solid audition. I enjoyed talking with JJ.
She knew 8 pages of dialogue. And I don't mean just had it memorized, had a glance at the sheet. I mean, she knew it like the back of her hand. And she had this intensity, just this way about her that you just can't stop looking at her. And I guess they call that star power.
And he was very upfront about, here's what this role requires, here's what we're going to be doing, 18 miles around Richmond, do you think you can do it?
I talked with her a lot about, there's going to be a lot of running. You're not going to quit them, are you? She's like, I will not quit. And I believed her.
That I will give everything I've got and do whatever it takes, and I won't quit.
We filmed the most difficult scenes first because I didn't want her to have any illusions of what was going to happen on this production, and she was a trooper.
We were running across the rocks to get to Belle Isle.
Going up through Pony Pasture, I'm running with a camera handheld behind me pointing at her. JB's running in front of me pointing back at her with the microphone.
And it was horribly hot. The way the light had to be, it wasn't the hottest part of the day, but it was getting there because we needed the light to be from that specific angle.
And there's Rebecca jumping over rocks, running over like a pro, running up a log to get to the main rocks, and then up the ladder, and over and over and over and over again.
Over and over and over again, because we had to get all the different angles, and every time we did the angle of me running, we'd have to maybe do it a few times because you had to work with shadows, and is JJ's shadow with the camera coming in, or JB's with the mic, or is my shadow getting in the way? So it was just take after take after take in all these different angles of just running over rocky terrain, slippery rocky terrain in the heat. Not having any experience up to that point really with sort of pacing.
I knew 18 miles was a long way to run. I knew that if you're not an experienced runner, running 1 mile the wrong way can hurt you. And we were going to do several a day. Boy, had I miscalculated. When I did all the math for what approximated how much running Rebecca did in this movie, 120 miles in 9 days.
Oh, I thought I was going to die, but I didn't quit like I promised. I thought I was absolutely going to die. But then we finally got to the point where we were done. We were done with the rocks for that day. And I was like, well, if I made it through that, it's probably not going to get any worse.
And it was really quite incredible to see her do that. I had these shots that were a mile long or even 2 miles long, and it's just steady. All these lines, all these things, problem solving. Like Belle Isle, she's talking to the administrator. She has a moment with herself. She almost breaks down. She almost quits. She gets back up again. She calls John Graham. He's not there. She leaves a voicemail. She's talking to her administrator to get money freed up. That's not going to work out. She hangs up. She calls John Graham again. All of that's one take. And all the time, she knew 50 pages of dialogue in 2 days. In 2 days, she had 50 pages. She had a whole script memorized in 2 days.
50 pages of dialogue in 2 days is not a joke.
It was amazing to watch that happen.
Rich! Hey, it's Sean. Hey, listen, man. I need you to meet me at an abandoned parking lot. There's a building. It's got graffiti on the side of it. My car's there. Can you meet me there? It's right next to Legend Brewery.
Hi, my name is Richard Spencer. I'm playing John Graham in the movie Run.
I loved working with Rich Spencer.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Holy shit! Ah!
Rich is just a pro, man. He's been doing this stuff, making movies since he had a video camera in high school.
Richard Spencer is a established Richmond actor. He knows the business like the back of his hand.
I've lived here in Richmond my whole life, and I been professionally acting for over 10 years.
It knows the business like the back of his hand, and as someone who was, especially for film, who was coming into it fairly recently, that it was all pretty new to me, he was an invaluable resource.
I do a little personal training on the side, so that kind of got me excited with getting into Run too, because JJ asked me right away, can you run 10 miles or 20 miles? Right away I was, of course I can.
Do you have a plan?
You mean other than keep running?
Audition process, went over there and he had a treadmill set up. He said that I was gonna run on the treadmill and deliver my lines.
Who invented this thing? I did.
And I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna like this guy. Right away, I wanted in.
The moment I saw his headshot, I said, that's John Graham. But we had someone else that we were interested in for John Graham at that time. So I said, well, how about, you try out for the bad guy? And with his versatility, Rich was perfect.
When you get feisty, really turn me on.
Later on, he had a scheduling conflict and JB took over, but Rich was the original Bill Banham. And a guy can dance too. That's perfect. He didn't get to show it in the movie, but he can do a happy dance.
Plus, he's a wonderful actor, and it was great being in scenes with him.
Rich was full of wisdom. He came on set. He was all pro. He always knew his lines. Always knew where the camera was. Always knew how to make the most of his presence on camera.
Especially with romantic relationships on film, you have to have a lot of trust very quickly.
Always knew how to share the camera with the actors when they needed it. Like, Rich is a natural lead actor, yet Rebecca's the lead in this movie. Kennedy's the character we're all following. And there are some scenes where Rich is in it but has no lines. And he did a great job of being there.
John!
I'm not leaving you.
And showing that support without taking over the scene. Very tasteful, very tasteful. And the way he interpreted a lot of my lines and dialogue, that I later, right before the shoot, I was thinking maybe some of these lines are extraneous, maybe I should have cut them. Rich just brought some magic to them.
There! I got an energy bars! Oh, fucking back!
I think the first time we met was the day that we were shooting.
Come on, let's go! I got you, girl! We'll do this together!
And that's huge because it's got the whole backstory of all the anger and the distrust.
You're right. I did hook up with Bill.
And the sort of the end of the relationship, but also all the love that happened before, and now there's this danger, so it's all these emotions mixed up.
John, I'm sorry about Bill. I'm so sorry.
I know, just save your breath.
And it was great. It was a very positive experience.
John Graham is jealous.
He was never really my boyfriend.
Just your hookup.
He's broken up with Kennedy. He's hurting inside, but right away she calls for help. I'm mad, but at the same time I care about her.
You didn't have anything to do with that bomb going off in Oregon Hill, did you?
He really loves her, and that he would pretty much do anything for her.
I'm not leaving you. I'm never leaving you.
It was a really well-written script. It's got comedy. There's some really, really funny bits in the movie.
Damn Al-Qaeda's.
Thrillers and fight scenes and explosions and lots of running and lots of athleticism.
I heard a pretty cool motto many years back that stayed with me. It said, if you shoot for the stars and you miss, you still get the stratosphere. All cheesiness aside, I thought that was a pretty cool motto. The biggest challenge we had was how do we take a movie and make it look like it cost millions of dollars to shoot, make it huge, make it have epic, sweeping shots.
It's all downhill from here.
And at the same time, how can we make every dollar stretch to 1,000 times its size?
From the get-go, he's like, we are gonna make the best movie. We're gonna make one of the best independent movies here in Richmond. And he came with that attitude every day on set.
Every day that we were filming, unexpected, beautiful things happened. We got hordes of Segways driving by right when we needed to a specific Richmond shot. It was wonderful. But every day you could just tell that JJ was passionate about this film and that he really believed that it was going to be great. And the whole way through he's telling us, this is going to make us all big.
The thing about JJ, and I think anybody who's worked with him will tell you that he's very passionate about his craft. He's got a definite vision of what he wants to do.
He was so intent on making sure that we looked good on camera, that we sounded good, that we were safe.
He was so excited. You had no choice but to get excited about the project because he was just so excited about what he was doing.
Oh, that's great when an actor comes to you and says, I want to do this, but you still have to be willing to take that leap of faith for an actress who's never been in a film before. And JJ took that leap of faith, and I'm extraordinarily grateful for him for that.
It seemed like every second of his life he was doing this.
And when someone believes in that so strongly themselves, it's impossible not to believe in that as well. It was a really, really hard, intensive, challenging 2 weeks. And you can't go through something like that without having someone who was willing to bring you the whole way. And JJ was willing to bring us all there.
And it was just a great experience. And I look forward to the next project with them.
And you can come home. You can come home. You can come home to Richmond.